Hello and welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate for Euro 2020 fantasy football content. My name is Dan and today I thought I'd do a nice little update video and show you guys where I am at with my team selection for Euro Fantasy. So obviously I've made a few videos recently, particularly the predicted lineups videos, which has massively influenced who I actually want in my fantasy team, and as such things have changed a lot since the last time I showed you my team, which I believe was last Friday, so over a week ago. So a lot of things have changed since then, and I just wanted to share with you guys who I'm playing, why I'm playing them, and go into a little bit of detail on my kind of tactics and how I want to play Euro Fantasy as well. So hopefully this is going to be a really good video for you. Hopefully this is going to help you make your own decisions in your teams, and if you do like it, please do like the video, and of course subscribe if you're new around here for regular Euro Fantasy content for the next couple of months. Enjoy guys, let's have a look at how I'm going to line up. So what we'll do is we'll go through from defence all the way up to our attackers and then have a look on the bench, and hopefully this is all going to make a lot of sense. Let's start throwing some players up on screen. We'll start off and go with Radecki, the Finland goalkeeper, who we've spoken about a lot. He's 34% of all Euro Fantasy managers own this player in their teams because he is just such a good shout to have in your team. You know, 4 million, the cheapest possible price for a goalkeeper, and yet we've got a starting goalkeeper. This guy is, like I've said before, arguably Finland's best player. I know people are going to say, you know, Teemu Pukki, but in terms of how high profile the player is, Radecki is their most high profile player, and I really do think they've accidentally put his price too low here, which is fine. We're going to take advantage of that. The game is against Denmark, who I don't think is an easy fixture. I've put it down as a kind of an average kind of fixture, really, but I do think there is potential for a clean sheet, and you know what? If it doesn't work out, we know by now the rules of the game, guys. If our player gets a disappointing score, we can just swap them out for someone on our bench who plays in a later date. So if your bench keeper hasn't played yet, you can swap them in. So that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. I'm just going to be going with my 4 million goalkeeper, hoping to see what happens, and if it doesn't turn out good, then we'll go to my better keeper, who is actually going to be on my bench. But we'll have a look at that in a very short moment. So into defence, guys. Spinazzola against Turkey. We'll start off there. 5.5 million, so he is a little bit expensive, but that's okay because Italy are just defensive beasts. I think they're on like are they up to 8 or 9 consecutive clean sheets now? Something stupid like that. They're keeping clean sheet after clean sheet after clean sheet, and it doesn't seem to be stopping. So fair play to them. I do think that is a defense we definitely want to go in on, and I know 5.5 million seems a lot, but that's kind of the cheapest you can really get a Italian starting defensive player for anyway. So I kind of have to pay that price if I want that clean sheet, and I do want that clean sheet. Spinazzola, the advantage of him, of course, is that he's a very attacking player as well. He loves to bomb forward. He loves to get into the other opposition's box. He loves to put in a cross. He loves to take a few shots as well. He's got a few shot of goals, a few assists in his career for Italy as well. So he is definitely going to be one of the more attacking fullbacks of the entire tournament. So that's a real advantage there. And of course, the clean sheets are a huge plus as well. He plays Turkey on opening day. I don't think it's the easiest fixture in the world, but in Italy we trust, right? With their defense, we kind of trust them. So I am hoping for some good things there. It's the first day. You know, if things don't go to plan, then obviously I can swap him out. If things don't go to plan, as in he's not even starting, because a few of you guys will say, oh, well, Spinazzola's probably not even going to start. Emerson's going to start. Well, I don't believe that. I do think Spinazzola is going to start, but I do acknowledge the idea that Emerson could actually start in this game. But of course, the deadline is not until the game kicks off. So we'll know well before, because it's the first game of the whole match day, we'll know well before. If he's not starting, then I'll know, and I'll be able to change it before the game even kicks off. So I'll be able to make that swap, and everything will be absolutely wonderful. Everything will be wonderful. So there's not really a risk there, really, because we'll know about it. And the same can be said about any Italian players, Turkish players. As long as you're on the ball and you're checking lineups and are ready to make that change and have a change plan, have a backup player there ready to go in case your player doesn't start, then that's good. So anyway, Meunier is 5.5 million. Now, this is a player who I could actually potentially end up downgrading. I might downgrade Meunier to Denier if I want to. Now, the only reason I've put in the extra money is because I had a spare million when I'd finished making my team, and I thought, where do I want to upgrade? Well, actually, I thought, okay, maybe we could go for a slightly more attacking defender somewhere, and Meunier is kind of a player that I quite like the look of a lot, because of the position he plays for Belgium, the position he's played forever for Belgium, by the looks of by how things seem. But he plays in a right wing back position, but it's actually more of a right midfield position. So he's listed as a defender, but he's going to be playing more like a right midfielder. Now, this game against Russia is pretty good for Belgium, so it's a strong fixture. There's going to be potential for clean sheets. There's going to be a potential for attacking returns, particularly for a player who does play that advanced. He's really a right midfielder being listed as a defender, so that's a real advantage to go for a player like that. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that pick, but I do also understand that if I do need to downgrade him, then he is a player that I would be willing to downgrade if I wanted to put some of my money into some of the other positions. But there we go. And we're going to finish off the defense with Merla, 4.5 million. A little bit of a differential here, 2% owned, which is pretty nice. His game against Finland, we've kind of spoken about Finland very briefly in this video, but Finland, look, I'm not going to write them off at all because you never know. You do have these dark horses in these competitions, don't you? But they are one of the weaker teams in the competition, and Denmark are one of the better defensive teams of the competition. So Melo is kind of going to play in the left back position most likely. I'm sort of 90% sure he's going to play. I know he's not the safest pick. You know, we've got Simon Kjær as a 4.5 million option for Denmark in defence as well, who's much more nailed on. But Melo kind of offers this attacking threat that other defenders in the Denmark team don't. So you might be noticing a bit of a theme here, guys, that even though I'm picking some defenders on the cheaper side with now a 4.5 million defender, which is a player on the cheaper side, it is still a very attacking, very progressive kind of defender who has potential for goals and assists as well as clean sheets. So we're maximising the ways in which we can get points. You know, there's no bonus points in Euro Fantasy, so we do need returns in order to pick up those points. And a centre-back, pretty much as soon as a centre-back loses their clean sheet, you're not going to get any points for them. So I do like the idea of having some players who have different ways of getting points in the bag kind of thing, rather than just depending on those bonus points to top up the clean sheets kind of thing. So anyway, that's the defence. I think it looks pretty strong. We'll move on to my midfield now. We're going to start off with Eriksen. Again, a Danish player playing against Finland. Like I said, Finland, I think they are going to concede a few goals. Now, I know I say that I've got Hradeski as my goalkeeper, right? Yeah, fair enough. It sounds controversial, but Hradeski is my backup goalkeeper. He is only starting in this team because he plays first. And because he plays first, I can switch him out later on in the match day if I feel like it, which I probably would do. But I do like Eriksen, and he's one of my more expensive players. He's my most expensive midfielder. But he's just the attacking guy for Denmark, right? On all set pieces, penalties, corners, free kicks. Is their best player in terms of ability, I would say, in terms of their outfield players. Certainly, you would say he's their best player. Certainly their best attacking player, for sure. And has so much different. He has so much in his bag, and he's just been a fantastic player for Denmark and at club level for years. It's not okay, fair enough, he's had some tough moments over the last couple of years, but he's still an absolute Danish legend, right? So I am backing him. If anyone is going to get a nice big score against Finland from that Danish team, it is going to be Eriksen. So, you know, if it's like a 2-0 or 3-0 or 2-1 or 3-1 or something like that to Denmark, who do you think is going to be hoovering up those points? Well, it's got to be Eriksen. Got to be Eriksen, really. Well, moving on to Shaqiri, who is kind of a little bit of a slight budget player in a way, because he's only 7 million. Out of the 7 million players, he's one of my favourite players, that's for sure. The Wales game is a really good fixture to target, and I do think that Switzerland are a fairly strong team as well. Now, Shaqiri is kind of just the best value for money in terms of that Swiss attack. I've touched on this before, but the other attackers, Seferovic and Embolo, they're kind of more money. They're like 8 million, 8.5 million, and yet they get less points for goals because they're listed as forwards. They don't get clean sheet points, so because they're listed as forwards, and finally they cost a lot more money. So I mean, Shaqiri, I think I already said they cost more money, but Shaqiri pretty much offers a similar output in terms of the goals and assists that Shaqiri's got throughout his Swiss career, I guess. It's kind of on a similar output as the forwards anyway. So for that reason, and the set pieces and stuff like that, which Shaqiri should be on a decent amount of set pieces, I would imagine. I do very much like him before this game, a really positive fixture again. And again, it's another one of the earlier games. It's a game on the 12th, so it's a game on the second day. again, giving me opportunities to switch him out if things go wrong, which I understand could happen. Alaba is a nice, cheap differential here. Well, I guess he's not a differential because 15% of people own him, but he's really, really nice and cheap. 5.5 million. I think he is one of those players who has really been underpriced. Because, you know, a lot of people don't know, but Alaba plays as a left winger for Austria. So he's playing in a much more forward-thinking, aggressive position than we typically think Alaba as being, and because of that, he is going to get more opportunities for goals, crosses in, you know, taking shots, making those key passes and picking up those fantasy points, which is what this whole game's all about, right? So yeah, for that reason, he is just going to be an absolute steal at 5.5. And the fact that he plays against North Macedonia, one of the weaker teams of the whole competition, if not the weakest team in the whole competition. I mean, look, there's always going to be a few surprises. I'm not going to bash the underdog too much, but in terms of fantasy, we do have to kind of play the odds a little bit, don't we? We kind of have to identify teams that are typically weaker. And obviously, it doesn't always go to plan. I don't want anyone to think that I'm writing off any teams, because I'm absolutely not writing off any team whatsoever, but we do kind of have to play the odds if we're going to try our best to have a good fantasy competition here. So yeah, for that reason, Alaba is a good pick for me. And then finally, Insigne, I really quite like, because he plays in a really, really advanced attacking position on a kind of left wing, left forward type role for Italy. He's nailed on. He's going to be playing sort of 90 minutes every game. He's kind of the star man at Italy. And the fact that we can pick him up for 8.5 million, I think is pretty nice, actually. I know a few people prefer to go for Italian forward on the other side, on the right wing, but the right wing is a lot more up for debate. There's sort of Chiesa, there's Bernardeschi, there's Berardi as well, who can play on the right-hand side, where Insigne is just going to have that left side locked down, and he's going to be hopefully having as good competition at international level as he has done in club level this season. He's had a really good season, and I think he scored the other day for Italy as well, which is really quite positive to see. So, game against Turkey, I acknowledge it's not an amazing fixture, but by having Insigne in my team, it does allow me to have a captain on the first day as well. So captains, of course, we know by now that you can switch your captain every single day in the competition. If your captain from yesterday didn't work very well, okay, let's switch up to the player playing today. You can only move it forward in days, you can't move it backwards. I think, guys, if you want to know the full rules of the game, do definitely recommend checking out my video I made about a week and a half ago about the rules of Euro Fantasy. But in this game, you can switch your captain about, and it's good to have an option for a captain for each day throughout the match day. So, you know, this is why another reason why I put the dates of the games on screen for you now is so you can see that, do I have a good player for every day of the week? Yes, it kind of looks like I do. And Insigne is my day one captain. He's my day one go-to guy who I'm hoping to get the points. And if he doesn't get points, then okay, we'll move the captain's armband to someone who plays on the 12th of June. So perhaps we'll go for Eriksen, for example. He's going to be probably the standout player for me who's playing on the 12th. So he would be the guy to go to. Anyway, I've spoken enough about that. I know we could talk about the rules all we like. But anyway, that's just a little insight on some of the strategy that I'm going for as I talk you through this team as well, which I do hopefully is kind of useful to you. So anyway, moving to the forwards, we've got Cristiano Ronaldo. How can I not put him in? How can I not put him in? You know, we've got this game against Hungary, another one of the weaker teams of the tournament. Hungary, I've spoken, I feel so sorry for them. They've got the group of death. And this is Portugal's go at the group of death. This is Portugal's big moment, right, in this group of death. And Ronaldo is one of the best players in world football still to this day. He is the main man. He's the main striker. He's the main, well, sometimes he's playing on the wing, but he's the main striker. He is, the penalty taker, the free kick taker. Maybe Bruno can take some free kicks off him. I'm not 100% sure. Amazing in the air. Always looking to get goals, wanting to push himself and do the best. And Portugal are going to want to do the best in this tournament. This could potentially be Ronaldo's, it might not be his last tournament, but it could be. Technically, it could be his last tournament. You never know. Maybe he plays in the next World Cup, but how old would he be by that point? It's crazy, right? But he seems to be able to go on forever. But this probably going to be his last Euro tournament, right? You would definitely say that. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe you disagree. Let me know in the comments what you think about that. But huge player, great captain option, great fixture, great team around him. all set pieces and stuff like that, I'm really backing him. So let's go for him. Let's see what happens there. And a great way to finish off the match day, really, with a 15th of June fixture there. My final day captain, I would say Ronaldo is. But yeah, we've got Depay here as well, who's just banging the goals in for Netherlands. He is the main man. And this is another thing I like when I'm picking fantasy players. I like to pick the main man of a team. If a team has, like 4 or 5 main men, if you like, then that kind of makes me think, okay, if you've got 4 or 5 different players who all contribute equally to goals, then there's a good chance that the guy I happen to pick won't get the points. You won't get the goal on any given day. But if you go for a main man like Memphis Depay, who he will sort of hoover up like 40% of the Netherlands goals throughout the whole tournament, then if every time that Netherlands score, you're kind of thinking, well, there's a 40% chance that was a Depay goal, right? So that's really, really important, and that's something I really like about when I pick players in fantasy. So that's a good reason why I've gone for him. Ukraine fixture, again, really, really nice fixture, and all of my players you'll see on screen, they all have amazing fixtures. We'll talk about why in a very brief moment, but all have amazing fixtures. Depay is going to be a popular pick. I think he's going to be a very good pick. I think there's a very good chance, the idea is that the Netherlands are going to be playing with this 2 up front formation, and Depay is going to be one of the strikers there. So that's going to be really nice, because often he is deployed on the left wing. I still think he can perform on the left wing, but he's going to be in those good positions, and he's going to be running in behind in these kind of positions, and I just think he's a really good premium player to go for. And it's like I say, the star of the show, and he'll be the star of that football game against Ukraine as well. So big things from him. And finally, Kalajdzic, my big differential of, I guess, my whole team really. North Macedonia, the opponent. Kalajdzic, good form. Yeah, maybe he didn't score against England in the friendly, but before that, 3 goals in 3 friendlies for Austria, very nice. An amazing season at club level as well, so well done to him for that. And he does seem to be nailing himself on. I know a lot of people are saying, oh, he might drop out, or Nautovic might come in. Yeah, it's possible. And for that reason, I'm still not 100% convinced on Kalajdzic, but right now he is in my team, so that's why I'm showing you that right now he is in my team. That could change, but yeah, I do think if he is going to start, he's playing against a North Macedonian team with these really kind of inexperienced centre backs. I say inexperienced, what I really mean is they're inexperienced at the top level. They've never played, the centre backs for North Macedonia have not played at a very high level of football, so for that reason they are going to be maybe a little bit out of their element against the world's most difficult strikers to play against. And Kalajdzic is kind of becoming, or has over the last year become, one of those horrible, difficult strikers to play against. That's kind of who he is, and he's doing really well at that. So yeah, I really like him as a differential, and 7.5 million for a forward is actually a really, really good price as well. So I quite like that. So this is going to be what my team looks like on the first day of match day 1. Obviously, if a player fails, Shaqiri gets one or 2 points, and I think, oh no, I want to sub him out. Mela loses his clean sheet, gets 1 or 2 points. I'm disappointed again. Don't worry, the bench is here. So bring up the bench. We've got Krul for the Netherlands. So he's going to have a fairly strong fixture against Ukraine. So that's going to be very nice, a good opportunity to potentially get a clean sheet there. I definitely think he's got a better chance of getting a clean sheet than Hradeski, but Hradeski plays first. Krul plays on the 13th. So once the Finland versus Denmark game is finished, assuming Hradeski has got not very many points, I'll just make the simple switch, bring in Krul. We've got Ristovski. Ristovski is kind of an interesting one. He plays for North Macedonia, so this is not a strong team or anything like that, but he's only 4 million, which is a really amazing price, and he's listed as a defender, and he plays it as sort of a right wing-back position. So, we know Alioski plays as a left wing-back, left midfield type position. That's where he plays. And on the other side, we've got Ristovski. So that's kind of what we're going to be going for there. I don't know if he's going to get any points. He's a punt. He's one of those players that I'll put in and potentially take straight back out afterwards. But he is an option there. If the guys playing on the 11th, the 12th, the 11th and the 12th don't play well, I can potentially bring in Ristovski for a last-minute punt. Let's see if he can get anything. But yeah, not particularly high hopes at 4 million. You don't expect too much. We've got Ferran Torres at 8 million. He's going to be one of the best picks to have, I think, in the game week, in this first match day. So he'll come in. If anyone fails, anyone gets a 2-pointer in my midfield or attack, Ferran Torres comes straight in immediately to try and capitalise in and do a little bit better in that game against Sweden. And then we've got Pau Torres as well against Sweden again. So 2 Torreses on the bench again. Pau Torres, if I put in Ristovski, in place of Mela, for example, and Ristovski also concedes a few goals and doesn't get very many points. That's okay. We've got Pau Torres. We'll bring him in instead, and we'll keep moving through our players and like that. So we keep getting more opportunities to score points. But there you go, guys. That is going to be what my team is going to look like in terms of my present thinking. I'll probably do another update towards the end of the week, guys, so you can see where my most up-to-date team is, of course. And we'll do a deadline stream as well, because why not? Why not? We'll probably do that anyway, or at least some kind of stream or something on the Friday, because I think that would be a good thing to do. But there you go, guys. In terms of captains, day 1 captain is going to be Insigne. If that doesn't go well, we'll move on to my day 2 captain, who is going to be Eriksen. If Eriksen doesn't go to plan, then we are probably most likely going to move on to Depay for captain on the 13th. As for the 14th, I don't have too many options on the field, but if Ferran Torres or Pau Torres is coming in, I'm really assuming that I'm going to put Ferran Torres in by that point. So he will be the captain I'll have for the 14th. And then finally, Cristiano Ronaldo will be my captain for the 15th. So I've got a captain option for every day throughout the thing if things don't go to plan with each subsequent captain. But you know what? If one of my captains hits like a 10-pointer or something, I'll probably just leave him on him. That'd be pretty good. I'd be pretty happy with it, with 10-point double to 20 captain. That'd be pretty nice. But yeah, that's how that's going to work for me. Guys, in terms of strategy, and I'll touch on this briefly because this video has gone on slightly longer than I thought it would. In terms of captains, not captains, in terms of strategy, my chip strategy is going to be the classic throw everything at the group stage. And my opinion is that in the group stage, the most points are going to be up for grabs during the group stage. This is going to be our best opportunity to get the points on the board. And for that reason, why not just go for a different team every day in the group stage? So first group stage, match day 1, we're just going to use this team. Match day 2, we're going to use our limitless chip. So we're going to have a crazy team for match day 2 and whoever we want in the team in the world. And then match day 3, we're going to have a wild card team. So we're going to play whoever we want in match day 3. Match day 4, again, I will be able to start from fresh and make a whole new team again. So for the first 4 match days in a row, I will just make a completely new team in each match day. So that's going to be pretty fun to do. And then hopefully by then, my points will just be so high that the rest of the tournament, I can just make some good predictions and try and make some solid transfer moves for the final remaining rounds. But I don't want to think about that now. Let's see how the group stages play out. We've got a lot of flexibility in the group stages, so much so that we really can save the thinking for the knockout stages until a little bit later. But there's going to be so many points up for grabs nice and early. Big teams taking on small teams, so many teams to target, so many teams to avoid, things like that. And groups of death that we need to worry about, things like that. And it can all be mitigated by doing the strategy of using all your chips in match days 1 through 3 in those group stage games, and that's where the most points are there to get. Guys, that's what I'm doing. That's the strategy, and this is my match day 1 team. Hopefully you like it. Let me know what you think. Is there any players you think are absolute must-haves that I really should have in my team that you think I've really overlooked here? Absolute must-haves. Who am I missing, guys? So let me know in the comments. But aside from that, thank you so much for watching. Please like the video if you did enjoy what you saw today. Please do subscribe if you want more Euro Fantasy content and maybe some FPL content in a couple of months as well. But yeah, aside from that, guys, mini league in the description if you want that. Twitter in the description, Instagram in the description. I think that's pretty much it, guys. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you later, mates. Bye-bye.